Plebby 16.
Well now, what's up you damn plebeians? It's Neo with the Balding Plebs. And welcome back to another fun and entertaining. You know what? I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try because I just don't care. I'm not going to be fake. What's up plebeians? Neo with the Balding Plebs, and welcome to a video that I've aptly titled How to ID a Fanboy to Tardi Boogaloo. Now the whole reason I'm making this video is because, boy, some of the stupid comments have really gotten out of hand lately. This channel is dying. Bro, the channel's been dead for 3 years. And I haven't been secretive about it. I haven't been quiet about it. I haven't tried to cover it up. Ever since my uncle died, the channel's been dead. My brother and I work totally different shifts. We don't do content together anymore. The only content you're going to get is basically me telling you that you're stupid for wasting your money on overpriced collector's editions. And guess what? I'm okay if every one of those videos gets 1,000 views or 2,000 views or the shorts get 5,000 views. I'm fine with that. I'm literally okay with that. I collect my $35 a month in ad revenue. I cash 2 to 3 paychecks from Google a year. You can slobber on my knob like corn on the cob, and I'm happy with that. It's not going to get any better. You're going to get random live streams. You're going to get gameplay showcases for new games, if we're getting them. And that's about it. You're not going to get much else. Oh, and you're going to get the Exposed Gaming Podcast, the realest podcast on YouTube, where the people on it don't fake it and they tell you exactly how they feel about things. So yeah, if that means this channel is dying, then this channel is dying. Channel's basically been dead, since November of 2021. But that's okay, because I have a loyal enough following on here of those of you that really enjoy this. Big Dick Rick, Jdog, IT Man, Tech TV Forever. I guess I'll mention Star Fury. I know he's sitting there masturbating in the back, wanting some attention. Of course, Lynn watches pretty much everything I do because she worships me, which she should. I'm fucking awesome. And I guess I don't really care, right? I don't really care about anything else. I don't. I see so many people that are desperate for clout. They are desperate to be recognized. They are desperate for attention on YouTube. And I see people every single day that act like that. And I think to myself, why? There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. It doesn't, right? It just doesn't, that kind of stuff. Social recognition. People in the social sphere going, wow, Justin, wow, Neo. Oh man, your last video was so amazing. I don't need that. I don't. I used to. When I was younger, I used to. I don't need that anymore. I've grown out of that childish phase in my life. I do not need that anymore. Now, what matters to me is when somebody says, I canceled my pre-order because of you. Thank you for saving me $200. To which I say, you're welcome. Subscribe for more real content from real YouTubers that don't want to see you piss your money away your entire life. Now, today's video, since we got that out of the way, figured I would just drop the people's elbow on somebody who deserves it, is called How to Identify a Fanboy Part 2 Tardi Boogaloo. Now, last time, I think this video is privated or for members only. It doesn't matter, you won't be able to watch it. It was called How to Identify a Fanboy. And let me tell you guys, it was actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. And it was funny. Like, it was really funny. Like Ricky in the back, bro, I know you remember when I used to crack wild jokes on here. I'm just not in the mood for that crap anymore. But, I mean, it was hilarious, guys. I gotta tell you. I mean, it was quite good. And I thought to myself, as long as I'm taking out the trash, as long as I'm taking out the garbage, as long as I'm taking out the refuse, I may as well come on and share 6 new ways to tell when you have a fanboy in your comments. Now, I know some of you on here are YouTubers. Ricky, even though he never streams to Oceanside YouTube, don't let him fool you. He has this whole separate Discord for it. He never uses it. I always wonder why you're streaming Fortnite in DB Hub, but you're not streaming Fortnite in Oceanside, where you should be streaming it, where all your viewers could be watching. No. You're instead streaming to one person. Stop streaming. Don't do that. Stream to your viewers. And of course, my main man, the Djammer. Make sure you guys check out Djammer's channel. I know he is also a YouTuber. But probably doesn't share as much controversial content, as many controversial opinions on his channel as I do. So I've garnered a lot more people that, well, we'll get into it, because what I was about to say was one of the ways to ID a fanboy. So let's look at the first one. I have written down mosquito. They follow your channel for 3 to 5 years like a mosquito, picking at you, making irrelevant, usually, comments about things that don't matter. Things that are dumb. They just make, I don't know. I wonder sometimes, Jared and I used to joke about it on this channel, we got to get that little beta high. We got to get our little beta high. We got to make a trash comment. We got to say something underhanded, something dumb. We got to get that little beta high. Got to get our beta high. Need that little dopamine hit, that little beta high. That's what we got to get, because you're a beta. You are. You're a little beta. You're a beta fish and with the alphas. And you're desperate for attention. You're desperate for somebody to recognize you. Usually you're older or really young. It's usually, I mean, I would say it's not middle-aged people that do this as much, but I've noticed people from my generation are kind of garbage about this too. But usually they're older, they sit around all day, they don't have a very fulfilling life. Happens a lot with younger kids. They want to act cool on the internet to their friends. They're like, oh, talk to this YouTuber. I have no idea what I'm talking about. My bells haven't dropped yet. But they follow you like a mosquito for 3 to 5 years, making irrelevant comments. Like we used to have this one guy, Juan Marzuki. Now, I don't want anybody to go search this person out. I've since blocked him a long time ago, just because I got tired of listening to him. It was always the same stuff. And we would always do these. We used to do reactions, you know, back before hashtag Merv is dead. Anyway, back before my uncle died. We used to do these reactions, and they would comment on every single one. Hey, unpopular channel, can you go react to this? And I was like, sure, unpopular subscriber, or sure, unpopular viewer. And so, like, every single video, they just follow you around 3 to 5. And it was easily 2 to 3 years of that. Which, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Like, I'm bigger than that, I'm better than that, I don't care. But that's a good way to identify a fanboy. So clearly, along the way, somewhere, we said something about either a collector's edition, or maybe we said anime is for children, it's cartoons. Shout out to my boy Dan Van in the back. we might have said something like that. We might have, I don't know what it was that we would have said, or maybe we said not to buy a collector's edition that he really thought was a good value. I'm not even sure if they spoke proper English. Most of their comments were of like a 3rd grade level. And so they really, I'm not sure. Sometimes I wonder if that's just like again, right? See, guys, they needed that attention, right? They were really desperate for that reinforcement. And a lot of times it can reflect bad situations at home, like maybe mom and dad didn't love them. Maybe dad went out to get milk and never came back. Maybe his mom was stooping the neighbor while dad was at work trying to pay the bills and put food on the table. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have any parents. Maybe he was homeless, and that was how he kind of lashed out of the world. There's a lot of ways. I guess there's a lot of ways you could really look at it. But if I had to say one thing, I would say he was one of those garbage commenters, and at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I just blocked him and got rid of him and moved on from it. You know, another one is Swordgrim. Again, guys, don't ever go after anybody. I don't condone that. But these people, they follow the channel, and they just make little nitpicky, little pick at you comments, and it's a good way to tell when you have somebody in your comments who clearly is a fan of or a supporter of something that you've said something negative about. And it's something I want you guys to remember, right? They act like a mosquito, right? You just kind of swat them out of the way and move on to the next. Usually it's an intelligent comment from like Tech TV Forever or Big Dick Rick or Lynn or Jdog or my boy IT Man. You know, usually you want to move on and read those quality, intelligent comments, and you just want to leave the mosquitoes out of the equation. You just get rid of the mosquitoes. You don't have time for children, really, basically is what it comes down to. And then we had that retarded feminist in my comments when I made the joke that I wasn't interested in any modern women, black or white, because they still couldn't change a tire. And of course, she got all mad and tried to make it sound like all men were bad. Clearly doesn't have a good sense of humor. It was a very funny joke. It was funny. I don't care. I don't care if you were offended by it. It was funny. And it just shows that some people are so extreme. You can't talk to them. You can't have a debate with them. You can't joke with them. You can't tease with them. They can't handle being the butt of the joke, but they always want you to be the butt of the joke. I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of feminists like that too. So, you know, that was another person that I just said, okay, F you, and I just blocked them. I don't really have time for that. I don't really care, right? that you think all men are bad and your daddy diddled you when you were a kid or something, right? I don't care about that stuff. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't have time for it on my channel. They just act like a little mosquito, like they just pick at you, and that, you know, you didn't like their game that was pro women, specifically pro black women. And because you didn't like that game, you were a racist, you were a bigot, you were an ist, and you were a phobe. But really, at the end of the day, the game was so bad. I mean, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how anybody could like that game. But so they act like a little mosquito, buzzing back and forth, and you can't wait to see them leave. So that's one way you identify a fanboy or fangirl, I guess in this case, if I'm being inclusive. Let's talk about the second one. The second one is parent. So what I mean by that is they see you as a parental figure. And they feel they need to justify things to you in the comments. Now, I don't necessarily mind this as much. This one is the sign of sometimes a redeemable fanboy. So what I mean about this is they are a fan of something. They have to tell you that they're buying something, but sometimes this fanboy is redeemable in that they tell you, I know it's a bad value, but I bought it because I'm a big fan of it. Now, recognizing that it's a bad value is the first step to admitting you have a problem. Also, telling me that I know it's a bad value is kind of like I'm their dad and they're coming down and they're like, look, Dad, I know this is a bad idea, but Amanda and I are going to borrow the van tonight for prom. We need a little extra room. If you know what I'm saying. And of course, you know, Dad would hear that and say, well, no son of mine's going to knock up a girl at 17 years old. But so I noticed that there is a lot of treating the YouTuber like a parent, right? They want to justify that $250 price tag on the collector's edition by saying, you know, some of these figures go for well over $300 on eBay after the fact. I don't care. I've never cared. That Mesmer the Impaler mask or helmet still is not worth $200 after tax and shipping, or more even. No, on no planet. I'm not sure Dad or your mom or your Zhejiang, whatever. I don't care. You don't have to justify it to me. You aren't breaking my heart by buying it. Just realize it's a bad value. So they'll treat you like a parent and they'll try to have like a debate or a discussion in the comments. One thing you really got to watch out for, now I talked about this in my previous video, is sometimes they write a book. And if you go to read a comment and it doesn't say something like, I disagree, I bought it, or great video, loved it, Neo, LOL, you're hilarious, keep up the good work, $20 donation, whatever. You know, if it's basically anything other than those two comments or a slight, you know, reversioning thereof those comments, don't read the book. Because they're trying to treat you like a parent. So remember, if write a book, then don't read the comment. Because you're not their parents. And I've noticed that with a lot of YouTubers on YouTube too. Young people especially, they treat a lot of these middle-aged YouTubers like these people are like their parents or like their authority figure in their life. Again, usually because they come from, you know, broken homes. It's one of the biggest problems with the family structure in America right now is how few families actually stay together because nobody knows how to actually work through problems anymore. They just think as soon as we have a disagreement, let's get a divorce. That was the biggest mistake we ever made in this country. That and electing a fucking geriatric. But anyway, now let's get on to the third way to know when you have a fanboy in your comments. Now this one almost slipped by me. This one I almost didn't get. They mention exclusive discounts that they get to sweeten the deal. So what I mean by this one is, like when I'm saying something isn't worth it, maybe it's an Ubisoft product, or maybe it's a Bandai Namco product. They'll mention, here in the UK, I can use some points and I get 10% off. Or then they'll talk about Ubisoft, and they'll say, oh, wait a minute, hang on. Fuck! Well, good Christian channel. I can't say that anymore. Duck! They'll say, I used Ubisoft points, and then I was able to get $25 off, or 10% off, or $10 off. I don't care. I have a Best Buy gift card, and I got $50 off this game on day one. Okay, listen, guys. The Collector's Edition breakdown and review are for full retail prices of the Collector's Edition. I don't care about your exclusive deals. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of that stuff matters to me. And I have to make that crystal clear to my viewers. I don't care about your discounts. I don't care about your Ubisoft points or collects or connects or ching chong bing bongs. It doesn't matter. Ricky had a great take on this in a recent podcast episode. We don't care about the discounts. We are talking about the full price of the edition. So they'll mention exclusive discounts to try to sweeten the deal. Number 4, they project. Wow, do they ever. In fact, let me read a comment to you that I believe is straight up projection. Oh. Here we go. Damn it. Did they delete it? You guys, stop deleting your comments when I trash you and tell you you're wrong. Seriously, you guys, stop doing that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, guys, they deleted it. They deleted it. Oh my God, they deleted it. Why are bald people always so angry? Seriously, like every bald person I've ever met seems so angry except Mr. Clean. Sounds like projection to me. I'm not an angry person. I'm a relatively happy person. I'm just disappointed in how dumb you guys are getting. Now, of course, I don't mean my intelligent subscribers that have a brain and are capable of having a good conversation. And even when they disagree with me, I know like Big Dick Rick and I, we can have a discussion a lot of times where we don't agree on things. We don't agree on very many things at all, actually. We disagree on a lot of things with gaming. But we don't get after each other and tell each other how much we hate each other and how, oh, you're just angry because you're bald. So many bald people are so angry. To me, this is a lot of like self-hate and disgust coming out in these comments. I'm really, I'm kind of surprised. Really? Like, you know, when I see the way people act and people live these days, I guess I shouldn't say I'm that surprised. But it is kind of weird sometimes how much these commenters and these viewers project. Because you'd never say something like that to somebody's face, right? I mean, first of all, I'd knock your teeth out. But you'd never say something like that to somebody's face. You just, like, you wouldn't, right? Even for as much as I know some people dislike certain YouTubers, like, usually the in-person interactions are pretty positive, right? And you guys saw what happened with that guy that, like, I don't know if I think he, like, did he jump on or, like, grab Jeremy Hambley, the guy from the Quartering or something? Or did he, like, get after him or something because he disagreed with something Jeremy said in one of his Magic the Gathering videos or something? And Jeremy ended up suing him. And he won, and the guy had to like apologize, and it's like, dude, like when you do that stuff in real life, right? Like if you like, oh, kick your ass if I meet you, bro. You better hope I never meet you. Like when you act like that in real life, dude, like you go to court. Like I've never seen so many people like projecting self-disgust onto others. I mean, it's a real thing, and it's a serious problem online. Like Joe Rogan is right. Like Twitter brain and TikTok brain is rotting you guys away. Seriously, any of you all that do that stuff, you've got to fix that because it's not going to get better as you get older. They're obsessed with proving you wrong. So, first of all, they have to comment that you're wrong, which I would say 98% of the time I'm right. But they have to comment on how you're wrong. And then they have to explain to you via a book. They write a book about how you're wrong. And they're right. And they're superior. Even though they're wrong. And then, if you retaliate or reiterate with your side and why you feel the way you feel, you're just wrong. You're an incel. I mean, guys, I can't make this up. If I read the comments, the held for review comments, 90% of them are something that I've talked about today already. And the last one, you care. You, the YouTuber, you care about what they think. What that commenter thinks or says matters to you. Even though it doesn't, right? I literally don't care. I do not care that you think the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the overhyped Rebirth Collector's Edition is worth the money. I don't care. You are wrong. Period. It's a waste of money. Buy the game when it goes on sale for $20. None of those remakes are worth it anymore because they're just milking you guys for everything you're worth now. I don't care that you think the Shadow of the Erdtree Collector's Edition is worth the money, which is not. I don't care that you think it's worth the money. But remember, the commenter, the viewer, thinks the YouTuber cares. Most YouTubers don't care. Don't start. Don't fool yourself. Most YouTubers do not care. Let me use myself as an example. I work 65 hours a week at a real job. My brother and I own and operate a business together. I am so busy with that job, could not possibly care less about what anybody thinks about my opinion on my YouTube videos. Could not possibly care any less. ZFG. Just do not care at all. And that's how it is for most YouTubers. Now, if you want to have an intelligent discussion and a quality discussion about something with some substance, let's do it. But don't make that mistake like fanboys do of thinking that the YouTuber really cares what you think. Because they don't. Now I'm Neil with the Balding Plebs, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for How to Identify a Fanboy Part 2, or it might be Part 3. I can't remember if I did a Part 2. Somebody's going to have to tell me. Somebody who's been here for a while has got to tell me. Tardi Boogaloo, How to Identify a Fanboy. And somebody's got to tell me if I've done one of these, if I've done a second video before. And I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Taking time out of my day, because I'm about to go drive a truck in for some service, and then I'm going to go back to work for another 4 hours, and then I'm going to go to work tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to go trout fishing and record for the fishing channel. So if you guys aren't following the fishing channel and you're interested, you should let me know so I can get you in touch with that information. And yeah, thank me for doing this video. Like the video because it helps support me in the algorithm, because YouTube hates us now because I tell you guys how it is. You'll notice that I'm swearing less because I don't feel like getting demonetized in everything I do, because if that continues, I won't be doing any videos. Wait, actually, for some of you, that might be a good thing. Because then you could corner the market on collector's edition breakdown reviews, and you could be the guy who oh my God. And don't get on it, Justin. Don't get Neil. Don't do it. You could be the YouTuber that gets on those collector's editions and says, here's what's in the edition. It's not for me, but if you like it, let me know in the comments. Oh my God, like, we could have such a great community discussion. I don't care at all. And neither does anybody else. Neil with the Balding Plebs. I'm welcome for coming out, taking my time to educate you. And this has been How to Identify a Fanboy Part 2. GG, you plebs. You're welcome.